Let your eyes adjust. This is a jet stream simulation. United States is down towards the lower right. Florida is pointing at the lower right hand corner. Alaska's straight ahead of you. And what I want to point out is how there's such a rapid, forceful, and sudden southerly push coming out of the Aleutian Islands. It's causing the jet stream to loop back on itself. It's causing pieces of the jet stream to break off and spin. And Newton's law, what goes down must come up in terms of fluid dynamics. And you can see every time that strong southward push happens, then there's a recoil or a rebound, an equal and opposite reaction that takes that jet stream up to the Canadian U.S. border, and then sometimes when it breaks off and tilts up through Texas and directly to the Great Lakes. So the Great Lakes states this year have been getting pounded by this regular pulsing, this regular orientation to our jet stream. And the amount of the southerly push when the jet stream gets to Alaska, the rate at which that jet stream deviates from its normal position is incredibly fast. The jet stream is running at 165, 175 knots in some places, which is extremely fast. But the rate at which it's deviating is fast as well. And you're looking at that bulge being created. You're looking at that push traveling from the Aleutian Islands, just below the Aleutian Islands, down to about mid latitude United States in a matter of just 2 days. The overall global picture, we again see water coming from the northern equatorial belt being pulled up. We even see a tropical storm that's right now kicking the hind end out of Japan, but we see a lot of moisture in this region, Indonesia, the Philippines, always taking a northward turn sometimes. Now the overflow of that belt wants to be right from left, and you can see that just by the way everything is rotating. But east of Hawaii, anything can happen. That jet stream, that flow can reverse, like right here. This is east of Hawaii. There's a tropical storm. You see the southern tip of Baja, and you can see these huge monster vortexes pulling on and stripping water off that hurricane. That vortex is way up in Canada, and it's affecting what's going on in Baja, just to get a perspective of size. And so that moisture is going to go kick northwest Texas and eastern New Mexico's behind tomorrow, which is today. And I think we have a current picture, but the dynamics are incredible. And everything's, notice that flows to the north, to the north. That's because our jet stream doesn't just run north-south, it spins. That path, that long arm to this monster vortex spiral that's driving the northern hemisphere weather systems, is going to take that hurricane and swath it right up to the Great Lakes. And so over the next 2 to 3 days, there's going to be very strong weather. The real issue is that there's a lot of background surface wind that has a lot of times destroys tornadoes and keeps tornadoes from forming, but you get microbursts and you get hurricane-like winds. That's the downside. That black line, this is a tracking the total number of tornadoes in the United States. The black line is 2019. So you can see the black line is above all the other lines except for the red line, of course. And the black line you can see in May took the steepest, sharpest increase out of all the lines that are tracked here. And so in May we had really hot weather, big changes in differences in temperature. It's not so much hot weather that creates tornadoes, it's two different temperatures of air combining to form turbulence. That's why tornado season is at the change of seasons. But usually there's a little upwelling, a little increase in the number of tornadoes in September, October sometimes, but this graph needs to be updated, which I hope they do. So this is, your danger zone, where if you're flying, driving, hiking, picnicking, walking home from school, watch out if you live in that area. Oh, here's your updated picture on that hurricane, kicking butt on the Texas-New Mexico border. And the thing about this picture, we're going to show more of it later, but see that big spherical shape at the upper left-hand corner? That's that huge deviation pushing south. When you see it in motion, you're going to wonder what kind of forces are at work that can take something and create a southward deviation, because Newton's law is everything in motion wants to stay in motion unless acted upon by an outside force. So, but here near Alaska, you can see the Gulf of Alaska. You can see a big spiraling vortex. You can see it popping storms in the tail. The tail's trying to reach down to the equatorial belt. You can see some water being pulled north over the Pacific. But that hurricane at the bottom, you can see how water's being stripped, just like it's being stripped over on the left-hand frame. The right-hand frame, water's being stripped, and all of it's going north or northeast. And the rate at which that water is traveling, this is just a 6 or 8 hour simulation, so you can get a feel for. Actually, this is more like 4 hours, so you can get a feel for how fast this stuff is really moving, and things change and happen quickly when it comes to weather anymore on the globe. Now, the deaths, tornado deaths, the U.S. had 39, and the rest of the world had 80 something, I believe. And so USA had half the fatalities of the entire world, almost half, when it comes to tornadoes. But they're having tornadoes in bizarre places. Portland, really? Japan, they're Mediterranean, they're the Middle East, they're the Balkans, they're tornadoes forming all over the globe that normally don't feature tornadoes in these locations. And that's because with greater differences in temperature, you have greater instability. you.